తెలంగాణ రైజింగ్ గ్లోబల్ సమ్మిట్ ని లైవ్ ద్వారా చూద్దాం.
Department of Filmmaking ensuring a more inclusive future. And above all, filmmaking thrives on ease. Telangana's single window permissions, clear zoning and digital processes reflect a sincere commitment to making production smooth and filmmaker friendly. Today's conversation is about how Telangana can build the talent, technology and cultural ecosystem the industry needs, and how cinema in return can amplify the state's identity, economy and global presence. So let's begin on that note. So ladies and gentlemen, before I start, I have a personal anecdote I would like to share. I have grown up, I think spending more time in Hyderabad than in Mumbai because my father always shot films here. I think I've stayed in Taj Banjara more often than I stayed at my own house. My father has remade a lot of films. My father has come here and shot, I think, predominantly before anybody else also did from the Hindi film industry. And I feel really proud and happy to be here sitting with Suresh Babu Garu, who I have seen when I was a child. For me, Rana is my friend, and I feel very, very proud that I can be here today for bringing our industries together. Sir, I'll start with you, Suresh Babu Garu. You were telling us backstage, which is something that we all learnt and understood. Only 25 years, this industry, only 25 years, and today we are sitting here. What is your imagination of the past, present and future?
See, when the state of Andhra Pradesh was born, the industry was completely in Tamil Nadu, which is present Tamil Nadu, and we were all making films there. The government here was trying to get the industry from Tamil Nadu into Andhra Pradesh for a period of time, and very, very little impact was there. About 25-30 years ago, they just made one tax differential. One chief minister, and they came and said that if you make a film here, the taxes will be lower than what it is elsewhere. And immediately they came in. Another chief minister came, and then he gave land, about 65 acres, for the workers to build a facility. On that day, unfortunately, there was a small problem. Both the Chennai workers and the Hyderabad workers fought, and the Chennai workers said they will never come to Hyderabad to shoot. Immediately, Hyderabad, within 2 months, this whole ecosystem got created. The Chennai workers came back and the industry stayed. And what happened at that time is all new infrastructure was built here. Annapurna Studios, Padmalya, Ramanaidu Studios, and Ramoji built a world-class facility, while facilities in the other parts of the country were all falling apart. They were all, nobody was enhancing or improving their facilities. Things started off here. With that, all the actors and Telugu people as a whole, we will go and make a remake from anywhere. We will buy a Tamil film, a Telugu, Hindi film, a Malayalam film and make it a remake. For us, there's no qualms that we have to be original and all that. We have to be successful. Now, having said that, with that kind of spirit, we have some seriously brilliant filmmakers who've come and made this so-called pan-Indian film, so-called pan, and they're now trying to look and try and make something pan-world. So the thought process is there always to get bigger and better. So how can we now, both as Hyderabad, because it's a very flexible and easy ecosystem, how can we as all filmmakers try and see that we have at least one place in India which becomes the global hub within our country? If all of us can talk on that, what can we do when South Korea can do it for Korea? Why can't we do it for India? Whether we do it in Hyderabad or wherever it is, how do we do it? That would be something that we should look at, because that's the opportunity which is there. And I remember in that quest for excellence, we will get there sooner or later, which is what I remember when A.R. Rahman was once recording. I said, why are you taking so long to record? You're recording. He said, no sir, we do things well, but we don't do things with excellence. And he was the first one who just pushed excellence in recording, and he was the first one to get an Oscar for our country. So it's that kind of spirit or that kind of movement if we start in, I think we should be able to deliver. And all of you are making such fabulous material. Like when I was seeing all the films, whether it's Rakesh, Zoya, or Ritesh. So I think that's possible.
Yes. Speaking of excellence, I think Rakesh sir, I would like to get your opinion. We are sitting here today at the cusp of so many possibilities. But it all starts with what we were speaking backstage about. How do we inculcate this culture? How do we inculcate a creative environment? How do we actually bring about people to start believing that we can prosper by forgetting borders, forgetting language, and actually create? And how a state is thinking that way by saying we do not want to think about creating divide, but actually bringing people together. We are all sitting here today. What do you feel is the first starting point from a creative point of view before we go into the technicalities of what the government can enhance? I think there has to be a creative emotion and energy that comes in for us to actually start believing and working towards it for a plan.
It's not a very simple question to answer. It's quite complex, and there's no one answer to it. So I would say what happens in the nation reflects the mood of the nation. What's happening in Telangana today is reflecting the mood of the state. When you say we want to go global, it's a global summit. It is not just back-ending and creating facilities, studios and technology. It will also mean a lot of front-ending because we need to then sell. We need point of purchases. How to create future storytellers. I was just speaking with Alu sir and I was trying to propose to him, let's start a school for writing. And I was telling him, after I finish making what's in my hand right now, which are 3-4 films, I want to devote the rest of my life into hanging out with youngsters and the young talent and the next generation, and to understand from them and to cultivate the seed of writing. Once we have very strong writing, see, we are all still enjoying the fruits of what Ved Vyasa wrote in Mahabharata or what Valmiki wrote in Ramayana. We are still, monetizing it in one way or the other. TV, cinema, this, that, movies, adaptation. We need to bring back that. So for me, the writer is the first hero of the film, the first star of the film. Then we start building on other things which are behind the camera and in front of the camera, other skills. But that needs to come, and for that we need a very proud nation. Nation that believes in itself, nation that believes in diversity, nation that believes in coming together. It is a diverse nation. We have a lot of potential, but as long as we come together as, one mutti, not spread out. So there's so much to do, and it's such a humbling experience to come here and share the platform with the stalwarts of Telugu industry who gave birth to, they're the mothers. They went through the labor pain and they delivered. And what a baby they've delivered. Guys, hats off to that. Absolutely. Yeah, I can't hear claps. and there's so much to learn from that. But there's also a lot to learn from the mistakes we have made. And so that we don't repeat them. Because we'll be foolish if we repeat the mistakes we've done earlier. Rest all is rhetoric, I think. We need to follow the visionaries and the leaders, that the footsteps they created. Now we need to create our own paths. Not necessarily just follow them. That will be monkey business. So we all keep talking about Korea. The Korean story is not a story which was just born in Korea. Korea exported its culture slowly and surely and gradually. And once the seed was spread all over the world, they started watering it, they started giving it the right sunlight, the right proteins, vitamins. And one day, boom, it exploded. It didn't happen in that just one moment. It took them number of years. So let's start doing that. It's a lot of hard work.
So speaking of stories and speaking of writing, I think we can all say Malayalam cinema right now is leading the way. We have Asif here. Asif, I want to ask you, Telangana is supporting filmmaking for years. Now the government wants to make sure that it's a one-stop shop for all the technicalities of making sure films are made well. But how do you imagine being able to come in and tell a story which is based in your homeland? Come here, tell the same story, and today we have the audiences willing in the entire country to enjoy it. What is your expectation or your excitement to see this kind of cross-cultural amalgamation and pollination of energies that is happening?
Hello, namaskaram. Arjun, for us, especially the Malayalam film industry, Hyderabad and Telugu industry is like our backup plan. Our everyday shooting essentials like, you say, the most advanced camera to the most newest lens to be the rig, everything, we depend Hyderabad and Telugu industry. So we are literally counting on this industry. And I want to say you guys are already 20 years ahead and we are looking forward to a beautiful collaboration. And thank you so much for this invitation. I'm so honored. Cheers.
Alu Arvind, I would like to ask you one very simple question. Pan-India, this terminology that is used now so freely with everything that is happening, I think we have to give credit where credit is due, whether it is Bahubali, whether it is Pushpa, whether it is all these films that have come. I think where Rakesh speaks about writing, imagination, thought process, the Telugu cinema industry has led the way by experimenting, by taking chances, and today we see the government also being so supportive. How do you see us being able to learn from your writing, from your making, from how unified you are as an industry, because that is something that we all want to take back home and bring together and tell better stories. And the government supporting you allows you, I think, to enjoy the fact without being scared, without being worried about how to make films happen, the big budget films or the small budget films. I think what's very special is the government and the film industry are in sync. How has that happened and how do you see that benefiting the kind of stories you wanted to tell, sir?
Can you really hear it? Whatever he speaks in this feedback speakers, we could listen only 50% of it.
Speakers
are you really listening to what we say? Thank you. At least you are in a better place. Because his question I am struggling to understand and reply. So, Prabhat, I am taking his help also to understand that.
I can try again.
How? Your question is like, how such a big films are being made here and how the cooperation of the government and the industry is going together. That is the question you are asking. Thank you. The films which have gone global, we should understand one thing is, they all started from very local. Take recent films like Kantara and Pushpa. They are produced from a Chittur village story and a Karnataka small village story. They have taken it very local and made it sincerely, and it has become global. We should not try to make Transformers and Avengers. No. We should try what is a great story in Adilabad, what is a great story in this Matti, and try to make it big and project it to the rest of the world. That will click. The very principle of getting focused and doing it the best will take you the long way. That is what is proved in the recent times while taking the films global. And the next question is, what he asked is, how the government is so cooperative here, and right from the beginning, right from Chenna Reddy to the present Chief Minister, everyone is very friendly. We are very fortunate to be here. very friendly with the film industry. Our film industry, as Suresh told, that we were there in Chennai and we are only 25, 30 years old here. I tell you, when we were trying to make films here 20 years back, we were struggling. We were struggling. Why we have come here was the starting regrets. But from there, here today we are seeing, rest of the world is coming to make films here. That is the kind of cooperation that has been brought by the government. And without cooperation of the government, this could not have happened. And we are very happy. Every government should take the film industries or the cultural the forms to this level, which all of us should learn from Korea. 30 years back, they have put a seed for the culture to be told to the rest of the world. And after 30 years, we have seen our children are singing Korean songs. When we go home, it's only Korean films are playing. We don't have the space. We have to go to our bedroom and on and see our films in Netflix. Korea is such a dominating. They have started it 30 years back and now it's giving fruits. Likewise, we have to take our culture also. Start taking it in a big way and it will reap fruits after decades. And we should start it. Thank you.
Shyam sir, continuing from where Alu Arvind Garu was saying, you were talking about taking cinema global, but we have to be local to go global is what everybody says. Would you like to add to what sir was saying?
Yep. I believe that cinema is very, very, very powerful. It's not just, I don't think it's just entertainment. It's something more than that. Something way more than that. It is very powerful, and I believe it is bigger than political power. It is bigger than economic power. It is so big that it has the power to influence society. It is the greatest, most powerful influencer. That's how I look at it. And I think that we need to not just only attract cinema to Hyderabad, especially after what we have done to our regional cinema like Triple R, Bahubali, Pushpa, Kantara, all these films. We should also take our films globally, take it across. In that context, I would like to talk about, I would like to give an example for better understanding. There is, before 1985, there is a Japanese dish, Japanese cuisine called ramen. It's an original, authentic noodles, which is very popular in Japan. The rest of the world never knew about it. They never knew about it. It was not popular. It was not there on any menu. It was not offered in any of the Japanese restaurants. But it was popular only in Japan. And in 1985, they made a film. A film came out by the name Tampopo. It's a comedy, Japanese film. And the story is centered around the Japanese relationship with their food. To make it a bit more detailed, the story is about a hero and his relationship with this ramen dish. He made a film and the film was successful and it went on to release in United States. And when it released, it got rave reviews. It was appreciated. It became a cult film. It was exposed to the international audience. They started talking about it. They started getting curious about it. They wanted to taste that noodles. And then slowly it spread. It became popular the world over. And last year, just that one noodle which was introduced to the world through a cinema had a gross sales of $58 billion, which is bigger than the budget of our state. Just that one dish. That's what is the power of cinema. 7 billion out of that was from Japan, and the remaining 51 billion was from the rest of the world. So I very strongly believe that cinema can go across borders faster and easier than any other product. Any other product. I would say that cinema is a cultural ambassador. It can take our culture, our fashion, our lifestyle, our drama, our stories, our humor, our aesthetics, everything to the world. So I believe that that is the power of cinema. I believe that we should also start focusing on that. How do we take our cinema to the rest of the world? It can contribute in a very big way to our economy. 100%, definite. Because any cinema goes straight to the heart. It doesn't go with a propaganda. It goes with a story. It goes with an emotion. And that emotion is an experience. And that experience is a pleasure. Anything to do with that pleasure, associated with that pleasure, the viewer takes it home. He remembers it. So therefore, I believe that cinema is very powerful. And now that we have started going onto the platform, we have directors like Rajamouli, we have directors like Sukumar, we have directors like Rishabh Shetty. So we should work towards that, take our cinema internationally, but we are not great at packaging, presenting, marketing. Therefore, I think the state government should step in, start establishing those cultural centers and help us marketing our projects. So I think that is the way to go about it. Not just attract, also take our cinema international. That's it. That's my view. Thank you.
I think speaking of cinema and language not being a barrier, I'm sitting here with Ritesh, who has now become a director himself and directed in Marathi. Where regional cinema is concerned, when we speak about I think the biggest success we've seen in the recent past is Kantara, a man who's, as Suresh sir was telling us backstage, he lives very short the film. He's gone back and taken people back there to shoot a film, tell the story about a rooted part of his culture, and the country and the world has embraced it. So Ritesh, I wanted to ask you, what kind of skills and technology do you need eventually to be able to actually take a story that is based in Maharashtra, to shoot it here, to make sure that the audience even in Telangana enjoys it, the audience in Punjab enjoys it? How do we break this language barrier? How do we break this cultural barrier that I think perhaps Kantara has done so well in the recent past? Because Bahubali is still a mythological story in that sense. Pushpa is still the angry young man coming to the fore with the core emotion. But the cultural stories that we want to listen to, we want to understand, and we want to really respect, how can we take that to the entire nation?
First of all, thank you so much for having me over here. I want to thank Honorable CM Sir, Deputy CM Sir, for organizing this wonderful global summit, and to have great minds here, and to feel that I was capable to sit here. First of all, thank you so much. My journey started from Hyderabad. I'm happy to say that I'm a product of Hyderabad. My first film, Tujhe Meri Kasam, where Jinili and me, both of us debuted, was produced by Shri Ramoji Rao. And everything I learned, my first experience about filmmaking was from here in Hyderabad. I learned about work ethics. I learned about how films are made. I learned about how people are treated. I didn't know anything about filmmaking. But my foundation itself was so good in terms of dealing with people who are so professional, so respectful, and so inclusive. That is one thing that Hyderabad really inculcated in me as a person, and I'm extremely proud to carry it with me for the last 22 years as an actor, a producer, and now as a director. Talking about